I mean, first, just the move to college football, I mean, after I really probably my entire professional career, people, at least the last half of it, people would always tell me, you're like a coach on the field. And, I think they meant that as a compliment, but as a player, really they're saying you're old and you're slow. And the only way you're successful is because, you're smart. And, but, coaching, my grandfather was my high school coach. Made a huge impact on me, laid a great foundation. I think one of the reasons why I was able to have the career I did as a player is I had amazing coaches. And my college coach was in the Hall of Fame, College Football Hall of Fame. I got drafted by Bill Parcells. And so many incredible men and amazing coaches that helped me reach, become the best version of myself as a player. And so I knew always that I loved teaching the game. I loved sharing my experiences with teammates, and obviously through a long career. And, one of the reasons why I went to Las Vegas Raiders was for that. John Gruden was as good of an offensive mind as it was. And I really got a chance to peek behind the curtain and see that. And so after that, kind of felt like it was a great opportunity to go coach my kids and do high school. And, over the course of 5 years, able to rebuild a program, had a lot of fun doing that. And, not just the wins that came with it and winning a couple state championships, but the relationships, and reminded me of why I fell in love with the game of football. And, along the way, having opportunities, just felt like it was best for our family to stay there and pour into them, be able to coach my two sons, which is memories that I'll have for the rest of my life. But I just felt like the opportunity was right. I think kind of to answer your question, first thing is probably through this experience of the last 5 years, it wasn't lost on me of the impact you can have on young men off the field. And so I was always intrigued by that at college, of 18 to 23 years old. It's pivotal years in their life, and to be able to be a positive influence in them in their lives is something I'm really excited about. And then the other piece of it is just this league, SEC football, to play and to coach in this now. It's the best of the best. It's elite, and coaching high school was a lot of fun for me, but there was a piece of that I missed. And if the right opportunity presented itself, I just felt like I would know when that was time. And so when Coach Venables called me, and we had a really good visit. I think it starts there, just what kind of person he is. He loves football. He loves people. I think I aligned with his vision of kind of what he's trying to build in this program, what he has built in this program. And that was something I was eager to be a part of. And so after visiting with him, I knew right away that was somebody I wanted to go work for. And I think that's important. When you go as an assistant coach, you got to believe in the head coach's mission and his vision for the program more than anything else. And you got to be loyal to that. You got to work your butt off for that person. And he's somebody I have a lot of respect for without knowing him much prior to this. And but somebody that even over the last 6 weeks I've even gained more respect for. Just he's prepared, he's detailed, great relationship with his players, with his coaches. He's constantly coaching his coaches up, and I think that's what the best ones do. They have this unbelievable passion for the game and teaching the game, and it's not lost who they get to do it with. And so it's an incredible opportunity for me, and he was a big reason why.
I assume you had quite a few options wanting to go into college ball. Like, why was this specifically the right one for you?
Yeah, I mean, simply put, it's Oklahoma Sooners. There's not another program with more tradition and success over the years, and some great programs in this league. I think, shortly after visiting with Coach Venables, I got on the phone with Coach Arbuckle, and I think, he's extremely bright. He's young. You don't get to this seat where he's at his age. That doesn't happen all the time. And I think that was somebody that I felt like, I could learn from and be a part of, and really just felt aligned with him, a part of it as well. So, it's just, I've always admired and respected this program. Over the course of my pro football career, a number of teammates coming from Oklahoma, and all of them were the right type of teammates, the right type of people, and phenomenal football players that love the game. And so that's what I wanted to be a part of. I wanted to go coach ball, pour into them, all the things I just said. I think what a great opportunity and platform for me to be able to do it here.
What stood out to you about that experience so far as you made that transition?
just, that what I felt in my gut about what I was so excited about this opportunity has been everything plus some, and I think coming from my career of playing at Tennessee and Dallas Cowboys, I felt like there were some bright lights, and sometimes when you peek behind the curtain, you never know what that's going to look like. It's been incredible, where it's a big stage, there's high expectations. The standard is the standard, and we know what that is here, and you guys know it as well. But also just the approach to it every day. It's been unbelievable. The people that I get to do it with, the drive to find an edge, to give us an advantage in these games, the recruiting, the day-to-day, the impact of the players in the offseason, and just seeing how they go about it every day. It's been incredible. As I shared, I think the best teams and the best players, there's just it's never ending, right? There's never been a perfect game. You always want that one play back, and you have to prepare that way. And you have to find that line of, okay, I'm not as good as my last play or as bad as my last play, and give yourself a little grace. But I also think that's really important. And I've been really impressed with strength staff, support staff, and the players. Whether it's a new guy or it's a guy that's been here 5 years, they work the right way, and give yourself a chance by doing that.
Jason, you mentioned a little bit there, but just over the last couple of weeks, you've gotten to know these players. What's maybe stood out about the group that you have?
Yeah, well, one, I would just say from my group, it's been interesting because a lot of new faces, with the 2 new guys coming in out of high school, 3 new faces in through the portal. So, you think about that, over half the guys are new. And so, walking with them, being a new guy and seeing them connect with some of the old faces, some of the leaders in this program was, hey, look, we got to play good football. We got to jump in here head first, and we got to dive in. And so they've been great, across the board, our guys. It's just a really great room. I think you start with Hayden Hansen. He's played a lot of ball in this league. He's smart, he's tough. He's got a great work ethic and approach. From Rocky Beers, now also in his 5th year, he's got an amazing story and journey to get here. And just, there's not a lot of time. The clock's ticking. And so just that eagerness from those 2 guys. And then, going across with the other transfer portal was Jack Van Dorsler. He's a young player, but very similar. He was highly recruited out of high school. He's played in the SEC. And so somebody that's eager to go to work. And one of the things I encouraged them with in our first meeting was, this is going to be highly competitive. And, I don't know that we have a position group on this team that, has less snaps in an Oklahoma Sooners uniform, and we got a lot to prove. We got to play a lot better. But at the same time, you can be a great teammate even though you're competing at the same time. It's important for me to establish that within our room. So I've been really pleased with how they've gone about that.
Jason, I'm sure it was tough telling your high schoolers you were leaving. What were those conversations like as you left high school?
Yeah, I mean, it was hard to tell them goodbye. Really, we had a lot of fun building a great program, and